All right, I think we're live. Test, tests. Sorry for the delay. Hello, I'm Robin. I am the founder of A City Made by People, and I'm super grateful to have you here on our first City Talks live Q&A. We normally host physical offline events, but due to, of course, the coronavirus and all, we had to, anticipate and come up with something else. So welcome today. I think I'm super grateful already to say that from the signups, I've seen people signing up from Chicago to Lisbon, from Amsterdam to Bucharest. I even saw somebody from Uppsala. If you don't know where it is, Google it. But happy to have you on board, dear viewers. To a practical note, this is streamed live through YouTube. And you can comment below. If you're on our own website, acitymadebypeople.com/live, there's a comment box underneath. Use it if you have any questions. And if you're on YouTube directly, you can do the same on the right side, on the right corner of the screen. So I'm going to kick off to do a short introduction about who we are, and I'm going to invite in the different initiatives we've invited for this Q&A. So let me see. There you go. So A City Made by People was founded almost 6 years ago, and with a clear mission to really celebrate livability in cities. Not only celebrate, but also really collaborate with citizens alike, but also with local businesses and cool social initiatives. We feel that it's down to the people to work on livability in cities, because eventually we are, the heartbeat of a city, right? So how do we do that? We mobilize across different cities around the world. We have a network of some great cities. The one listed in bold are the most committed and most active ones. And I'm super happy to have Viera on board. So welcome, Viera. And with this network, we do a lot of things. So we mostly write content on our journal. We've been lucky to also issue multiple print journals. We host monthly speaker events, as you can see there on the top right. And we really like to also mobilize our citizens to roll up their sleeves and actively work on livability. So whether it's city walks or urban gardening projects, we're open to all kinds of collaborations with cool initiatives, so we can mobilize our community and cities to help make the city a better place. So, and we're super aware that now during the coronavirus, we have the same kind of role that we can play. So we, next to a video series and content, we also want to start the City Talks series, especially kicking off with the theme, Support Your Locals. What comes down to how can we support local businesses in these times of crisis. So we're merely the mediator. We really have only, the power to unite people, bring people together. So we're happy to invite people over from Bucharest, from Amsterdam. Sorry, I have to say Vienna and Bucharest. She has a double identity, from Amsterdam and from Lisbon. And first I'm gonna ask Ioana to come aboard. Hey, Ioana.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Welcome to our first City Talks live stream. It's new to us. I think you're doing a better job on your backdrop. I might take inspiration from it for our next talk. But how are you?
Good, thanks. And about the backdrop, I always try to pick, the nicest spot and move around the house. It's the healthiest thing to do during these times. You need to change your office.
Okay, great, nice. Could you briefly explain who you are and what your initiative is about?
Absolutely. So Robin already told you, my name is Ioana, and I run the food blog Berries and Spice. And basically, since this corona crisis hit Europe, I thought, okay, how can I help the industry that I love the most, which is the food and beverage industry? So I started this project called Food on Our Tables. And from something that was just as a rough idea, we ended up having almost weekly roundtables with a lot of people from the industry, mostly between Vienna and Bucharest, but we're always inviting people from anywhere. We actually had someone from Rotterdam yesterday. And
right.
we're, yeah, there you can see us. And we're trying to come up with ideas together, and just I'm there just to facilitate it and communicate it to the world and record all these talks. So this is food on our tables.
Right, food on our tables. I'm flipping through. You went a lot faster than my slide skills. All right, great. Well, happy to have you, Ioana. I'm gonna bring Tim on board, and we'll be back with you shortly. 1 second. All right. And there is Tim. How are you?
From Lisbon. Good stuff, Robin. Thanks for having us.
Nice. Thank you for your time. It was super nice. I'm also going to say thank you to Victor, our common contact, in parallel contact, who tipped us to get in touch with you.
Great.
So I'm super happy to hear more about your initiative.
Okay, so Escolhe Portugal, which means Choose Portugal, really is an initiative that we've started. Also because we've been out here through COVID, and we decided, you know, we either can complain about COVID and the situation, or we have to do something about it. So entrepreneurship and small and medium-sized businesses are very dear to me. So we decided to set up a platform that would be able to aggregate all the other little platforms that are initiated, that are trying to help their local communities, their local business, and at the same time set up a brand that would make people proud to support Portugal at this important moment. You know, the whole world's going through it, and we now going through the health side, but soon we're going to be going through the economic side. And it was important that we get this mindset that once we come out, let's support our local communities, our country, and also, you know, open it up that people choose Portugal and come back to Portugal and spend holidays here and so on. So that's the idea that we started. So very happy to be with you guys.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much for being on board. We'll get back to it in a second. I'm first going to ask up Freke from Amsterdam. Oh, switch.
Hi.
Hey, Freke.
Hi there. I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're busy at the moment.
Yes, we're really busy. We up until I think since the 15th of March, we sold about 7,500 local food boxes.
Wow.
And yeah, nothing existed, of course. So we started from scratch.
Right. Well, you want to tell a bit about Support Your Locals, and of course also Instock, which you founded years ago.
Yeah, so I'm one of the founders of Instock, and with Instock we have 3 restaurants and do catering, and we have another company that is a wholesale company where we also collect all the imperfect products and the food surplus from over the food chain, and we bring it to food service companies. Okay. Both companies are went down to 0 turnover in last week, so that's why. We found Support Your Locals together with a few other producers. What it is basically is a food box that people can order, and the people at home can now get the food that is normally meant for the food service. So a really nice bakery. We have a sausage maker. We have our own fruit and vegetables, our own beer, our own granola. So we have really nice products, and we bring it to people's homes.
Wow. And you've already sold 7,500 of these boxes.
Yeah, that is just in Amsterdam. And Samuel Levy started this with us. And together with his campaign company, he said, let's make it open source. So everyone who wants to make a Support Your Locals initiative can do so. There's a guideline online, and everyone can just start in their own city, in their own town, can start their own initiative. So these 7,500 boxes are just from our initiative in Amsterdam.
Okay, great. Well, also great to have you on board. I'm going to re-invite the others, and then we're going to start a Q&A. Again, to the audience, you can raise questions. I can also kick myself out if you really don't want my anymore. But with these 3 great initiatives, we felt it was a great moment to, of course, share inspiration most likely to a lot of other local businesses around the world, and yeah, okay, we're also, the world is looking at us at the moment, but at the same time to share inspiration, but also learnings, so we can, I think this is the time to collaborate and exchange. So if we have something we can share, then I think it's our job to do so. So just the overall question is like, when the corona hit us, I think in Amsterdam it was a month ago, and I think we're almost in the same equal time. Like, how fast did you respond to this crisis, and when did you have an idea? Let's start with Freke, for example.
For us it was so the Sunday that the government said we have to close down all the restaurants. By then we already figured out we have to make a plan, because we saw all the cancellations coming in, and so that evening we made a plan, and that evening we decided we will do something with boxes and deliver it to people's homes.
Okay.
And 2 days later we went live with the initiative.
Yeah. And what about the others? Because you don't have something lined up like how do you call it? Emergency plan, right?
Yeah, I don't know. This crisis really did, even if we were running great businesses, we were never prepared for this. It wasn't something that we were ready for it, and it was our fault that it happened, or because we had overspent, hired the wrong people. No, actually, I think most of us were quite happy with what we were doing. We had some plans, things were looking good. We were planning some holidays, etc., and all of it sort of ended. And when it ended, I must say, I wasn't immediately excited about it. I wasn't, I've got to admit, I was quite worried. So I sort of had my own COVID curve, where I went downwards. And then I had to start picking myself up, because you speak to a lot of people and you start hearing your friends losing their jobs, and you start knowing about businesses that are closing and people that are struggling. And we all in cash flow businesses. So as soon as you don't have cash flow, you don't have survival. You've got no blood. So for me, it took me a week to start to understand what was going on. But the second week, you start to say, as good entrepreneurs, you start to think, how can I, turn this around and make this an opportunity and help others? Because I think the one thing that we've learned from this, that we're only going to get out of this together. So it was a little bit like that. So it took me about a week and a half to start thinking about the ideas and start coming out with it. Yeah.
To realize on what's happening. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And now, Ioana, I mean, you're also dependent of restaurant and hospitality, right? Also in the lines with your work. And then suddenly they all had to close down, most likely, right?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it was very much like they announced the quarantine on Friday in Vienna. And then on Saturday, I spent the whole day looking on Instagram and seeing all these amazing restaurants that I love, and all these chefs that I admire. They just all had to close their businesses. And basically, I couldn't sleep all of that Saturday night. And I just wrote down as many ideas as I had in a note on my phone, trying to kind of get myself tired to go to sleep finally. And then on Monday, I mobilized a couple of friends who I'm very grateful for, because they helped me with the name and with a bit of the setting it up. And then basically we kicked it off with a couple of visuals that were just encouraging locals to buy from their local businesses and support their local businesses. And then later in the week, we came up with the idea of setting up these online meetups, which have been happening and will continue happening. And on the side, I've also done quite a lot of research and have been trying to promote as many of the inspiring ideas that I find all over the world. And they're all on ourtables.com. So that's kind of the platform that has everything.
Okay. Nice. And looking at like challenges, right? How would you describe the biggest challenge you've had? Is it mostly income, really, or what do you think most biggest challenges are local businesses facing at the moment? Give it to.
Is it for me? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Definitely at the moment, the biggest challenge is businesses understanding, look, they've all got commitments, they've all got rent, they've got salaries, they've got a whole lot of expenses that unfortunately we can't just freeze them. That's what we should do, but we can't. So it hasn't happened. So as long as they're not frozen, we have to start acting. And, for restaurants that were before thinking, do they do deliveries or don't do deliveries? Now it's an easy question. They better do deliveries. Restaurants that didn't know should they be online or not be online, they should be online. So a lot has changed, and the truth is we don't even know yet, what the future is going to hold. We don't have a vaccine. We don't have there's still a lot to find out exactly where it's going, and we know that there will be social distancing and there will be a few changes. So we might as well start adapting and looking at that. So the first challenge is, how do you stay open? Or by being closed, how do you keep getting some kind of revenue that pays bills? I think that's the main situation. Most of our businesses, unfortunately, here in Portugal, small, medium, we don't qualify for all the government help, let's say. It's very difficult to go out there now and try and get a loan and commit yourself to another loan to pay salaries when you don't know when you'll open. So that's also super difficult. So it does come down to, how do you keep survival going, and it's tough, listening to two people there that were, one loved eating at restaurants, one was running restaurants. It's changed all of a sudden in the last month. Nothing's the same again, and we've had to adapt super quick. So yes, it's survival at the moment. Not everyone will survive. That's the realistic side as well that we've got to see. And that's what I'm telling people. Listen, if we're not together, we're going to have more closures. We'll have more unemployment. Everything will be more. And if we are together, everything will be quicker at improving. So that's a little bit of a situation. And like you said, at the moment, the whole world is actually looking at ideas, spreading. Like Frida was saying, she's made it open source. This is brilliant. Like there's no one excluding anyone at the moment, and I think maybe that's our hope. So let's see.
Freke?
Yeah. So the biggest challenge right now, I couldn't agree more. I think it's paying the bills indeed, and what difficult is that we have the uncertainty, so we don't know for how long we have to be able to deal with this situation. We have a team, of course. We have about 80 employees, and right now we asked them to make the restaurants ready so we can open again in May. So everyone is painting the picnic. How to say that? So the couches outside, etc.
Picnic tables.
At a certain point, so you have to keep focusing on an end game, like on a point in the future. And right now for us, that's the 28th of April, because until then they said that the restaurants will be closed, but there is a chance, of course, that they say like, oh, it will be another month. So every time you have to re-adapt and make a new plan again. And that's why we're really happy that the boxes are going so well, because this gives us some income, and this gives us the possibility, not only us, but all the producers that are in Support Your Locals. It's pretty much their lifesaver at the moment. So everyone said like, oh, we were so pessimistic about this coming period, and since the boxes are there and we got so many orders, it's really nice to see that it's such a really important for everyone that is in the initiative.
But you're also challenged to revise a business model, right, or rethink your whole enterprise, maybe.
Definitely, yeah. So basically what we did is we started a new initiative that is generating income for a lot of producers. And for us, we have the luck that we have some products as well. So we produce beer and we have granola that we can put in these boxes, and we have fruit and vegetables in it. But if you don't, then you really need to do takeaway, which isn't that easy to start from, to start with tomorrow. But I think we might, if we need to close up for a longer period than just until the 28th of April here, then we need to probably add some more business models as well. Then the local box is not enough. So we also need to do a takeaway probably, and
Yeah. And
just
also, Ioana, I mean, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Ioana as well. I mean, you know the restaurant business as well. Here in Amsterdam, you know, there's a 1.5 meter society, as they call it. You know, I mean, how do you think, you know, restaurants should arrange themselves if you know, you have to take care of the measure or distance of people between people after, like post-corona?
Sorry?
Like post-corona, I mean.
Post-corona. That's an interesting question. But I mean, you know, around the challenges and so on, we actually talked about this 2 weeks ago. We had a brainstorming session with a couple of people, and the thing that came up the most was how can businesses start working together? And this is right now, and this is for afterwards as well. Whether it's, you know, maybe sharing the same packaging maker so that they can reduce the cost of that, whether it is merging deliveries, maybe even, you know, later. I mean, we were talking about the fact that probably a lot of restaurants will have to open shops and still do deliveries and still do a lot of these current activities post-corona, because we're not just looking at, you know, the cash flow at the moment. We're also looking at what's going to happen at that point, and also who's going to be there. Because, you know, sure, like customers at the moment, consumers in general, they're a little bit more reluctant to spending money at the moment because of so much uncertainty. It's possible that even afterwards they will still be reluctant. So how do we actually encourage people to still do it? Because, you know, if these small businesses, if these small restaurants, if these small bars, specialty coffee places, natural wine bars or whatever, if they go out of business, then what's left in the city?
Yeah,
but
I think it's sorry.
Can I make a comment? You know, I know we're starting to think of post-corona, and that's super important, but I think we do need to see that post-corona, we'll still be humans. We're not going to come out of this, and because there was this corona thing, now we don't want to see anyone. You know, we're still going to have to eat. We're still going to have to drink. We'll still want to kiss. And unfortunately, you can't do any of those with masks on. So there's going to have to be a way of doing those things and being safe at the same time, but we're going to have to do those things. So I think, you know, the restaurants and you know, the hospitality, let's say, are going to play a vital role, because although they're going to be the hardest hit, they are going to play a vital role because they are the businesses that give people life. Okay, and they give the cities life. Yeah, they give the cities life, etc., etc. So I think we don't need to panic. I think there is going to be the demand will come through. There will be, you know, a cut of 30%, but I would take a cut of 30% today to a cut of being closed today, you know. So I think we will all manage with the drop. Okay, and then obviously, you know, there's going to be closures, and there's going to be some that leave, and there will be new opportunities with this, like there are that we're starting to see. And you know, I keep telling young entrepreneurs that contact me, and I'm telling them, listen, guys, it's a good time for you now to look at your business and see, should you be open? Should you still try and do what you do? Maybe after Corona, we don't need what you do, or maybe we didn't even need it before, but it was such a luxury that we just used it. Yeah. So be honest with yourself, you know, look at those things. Also, what I tell them is, what you're doing, do you actually love it? Well, maybe you don't. If you don't, use Corona to say you closed, or to say that you lost your job. Because, you know, one thing we've understood, is life and life itself, it's too precious for us to be doing things we don't like. It's too precious for us to be doing things people don't want. So I think there is going to be that downside, but we've got to keep our mentality that it's still humans that are our clients. Yes, we'll have some of those humans online, but they're still humans. They'll want to see good content. If you're doing some posts, they're going to have to look good, what you're eating, you know, all that kind of stuff if you're selling online. But when they come into your place, they need an experience, and it's people to people still. So I think no panic is a big thing about post-corona, and then taking it a day and a decision at a time, and hopefully good decisions in the right way, But it's very difficult for us.
What can local businesses do now to survive the crisis then, you think, Tim?
Look, without not just thinking of the restaurant and hospitality, what we've done is, obviously making this brand Choose Portugal. We're not a nationalist brand or anything, because if we're bringing in weed from Holland and we're selling it here, and we're getting we're creating jobs and we're creating tax. Well, that's what we want. We just want some revenue to be made here, and that's what we want here. So what we're doing, the biggest survival thing now is cash flow. Okay, without a doubt. And a lot of our small businesses and big businesses actually already do supply some bigger businesses, like let's say supermarket chains, big ones. And what happens is they take their product, they give their product to the supermarkets, and they wait 90 days to 120 days for payment. So what have we decided? We've worked on we've taken a software that everyone that's basically, we take that software, give it to the supermarkets, and then give it to the banks. And as soon as the product is delivered, these supermarkets give a green light to the bank saying, listen, we've received the product. You can go ahead and pay the suppliers, and you take your cut of 3%, whatever it is. The banks have to make business. We don't want to screw anyone, so the bank does his business. The big business doesn't lose his cash flow because he's not counting it. But what we've done is that the risk is on the big business, because it was very tough for little businesses now to go to banks and try to get cash flow approved and try to get overdrafts and all this without security. And then they ask you, Freke, we want to give you money, but when do you open your restaurant? I don't know. When do you start invoice? We don't know. So that's what we've done there, just to try and make it more than just a logo project. We'll do our logos, but at the same time, we've got to give value to this, So.
Right. Economically, definitely.
Yeah.
Are there any other tips on how, that we could share on what local business should do to survive the crisis? Freke?
Yeah.
Or Ioana, sorry.
I was gonna say, I think it's very important just to come together and forget about, obviously act local, but here what everyone is doing globally, and really stay up to date with every single idea, and just get together with your neighboring businesses. That's already a great thing. Just talk to them, see what their needs are, get together and try to find solutions together.
Okay. Freke?
In hospitality, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
I would say the same. So collaborate is really important, because the most difficult part is often the logistics and the labor to put something together. So, for example, if you have a lot of restaurants or a lot of producers, it's much easier to arrange this together than one by one. So collaborate is one. Go online, of course, but it's really important, and don't sit back. I think you really need to act right now, and really need to adapt and start new initiatives.
But do then also these local businesses come to you, as in support your locals, and say, hey, can you help me?
A lot. So we received, I think, over 100 producers that reached out to us, because we were the first, and we were in the newspapers. So we got a lot of phone calls and a lot of mails, so much that we couldn't even handle them anymore. And what we did is online on our website, we made the guideline, and we made a toolkit that people could download. And Food Cabinet, the campaign a company that was helping with this initiative, they made the campaign throughout the whole country. So for us, it was a local initiative for Amsterdam, and they made it possible for the whole Netherlands. So these guidelines, etc., that were online. So everyone that emailed us got a mail back from check this out and start your own. It's not that hard. So it's no rocket science to start an initiative, but you just need to come together and you need to start acting. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
There is one.
Sorry, Ioana. Sorry. I'm gonna throw in a question here for the audience, the viewers. So if they have a challenge they want to list, please mention it in the chat. and we can read it out loud for and possibly discuss. But sure, Ioana, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's also very, very important to stay present, like you said, Freke. You need to stay very close to your community because they will forget about you. And if you're not doing anything right now, they're likely to look somewhere else.
Yeah. Another question, I was having more about customers. Do you see something change as well amongst your customers? Or yeah, probably you get a lot of new customers, but do you see people change their buying habits as well? I mean, for example, Freke with your the box.
It's really heartwarming that we have a close community with Instock, but I think all the producers have that it started with our Support Your Local initiative, and we got so much nice replies. So people are much I say that everyone's so warm-hearted because everyone understands that you're in a certain situation right now, and a lot of people that just have a job at a corporate, for them, of course, things change because they have to work at home, but it's not a financial issue. And they just love to do something, and they need to do grocery anyway. Here in the Netherlands, we got to run at the bigger supermarkets. We had a lot of empty shelves, so it was so easy for them to say, okay, so stop buying your groceries for once at the bigger supermarkets and buy them at your locals. So it helps to start the movement of local change, so food chains. And this is something that a lot of sustainability people talked about for years. Like, we need more local food systems and we need to supply locally. And right now people understand. So this whole movement of producing and consuming local, people understand it now, why we need to do that. So that's a really big change, besides that people are really warm-hearted and they are very loyal at this point.
Yeah, and do they also help you then, your initiative, more than only buying groceries or the box? I mean, do they also help you in a different way?
Yeah, so we also have gift cards of a restaurant. So a lot of people are buying gift cards for when we open again, which helps, of course, for our cash flow. And what people also do, we have the food banks here in the Netherlands and some other good causes. They face issues as well. There's a lot of new customers there that don't have money to buy their food at this point. And we have a donate button. So a lot of people donate food or donate money so we can provide boxes for the good causes as well.
Okay, thank you. Any others, like how you've seen customers change their habits, or how customers have helped your initiatives?
I totally agree that I mean, with what you said, Freke. One funny story that I heard yesterday on the Food on Our Tables discussion was two of the local businesses that joined our conversation were saying that whenever they started delivering, and they're delivering it themselves, so basically the business owners, they started delivering boxes of, whether it is a cocktail or a food box or whatever. All the people who were ordering them gave them gifts in return, whether it was, a bunch of fresh herbs from their garden or a little chocolate or something like that. So there's a lot more, love for locals and for, buying local and being grateful for those who are still, supplying everyone with whatever we need.
Yeah. That's almost an answer to the question that one of the viewers is raising here. The most beautiful, heartwarming act of kindness. People giving a gift in return for their delivery. Nice.
Yeah. No, I've seen a lot of good stuff, starting obviously with all the healthcare stories we hear and all our nurses and doctors. It's absolutely incredible what we get from there. But just little things around us. We've got a farm close by here, and the gentleman's probably around 70 years old, and he has about 30 trees. And these youngsters basically volunteered to pick up the fruit so that the fruit wouldn't fall on the floor and get wasted. And they did little boxes that they went around selling. and then it almost became like a way for this older man just to relax, not get sick, not be another victim or another statistic for the healthcare system. So little acts and the amount of volunteers we saw, and then again all this that we understood that nurses and firemen and policemen are actually super important when we didn't give them maybe the importance we didn't. I think that's all like a new act of kindness, that's coming out of this. And nowadays, if maybe your child comes to you and says, "Listen, Dad, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I want to be a nurse." Well, it's you actually maybe understand it, and that's a good thing as well, because all of a sudden it's we in a different world, So I think there's still lots of kindness that we're gonna need, and we can't get tired of this again, because I actually wrote something. There's an Indian saying that it all gets better in the end. So if it's not better yet, it's not the end. Okay, until it's the end and it gets better, we got to be very kind, So
yeah, we're all changing our perspectives here, right? For the better, we hope. Yeah. A question to the audience as well is like, have you guys changed your shopping habits at all? And if so, maybe just drop them in the comment box as well, so we can see. Maybe there's some insights there that could also help these initiatives here. And to Ioana, for example, like what kind of lessons have you learned that could help other initiatives around? Like any inspiration you've seen or you've done yourself that you'd like to share?
I mean, I've seen so much, and probably have listed over 100 in all my research and all the conversations we've had. What I really enjoyed actually was, having the online meetup yesterday, and actually having, 5 or 6 people on the call, and just bouncing ideas off each other, whether they were in Bucharest or in Rotterdam or in Vienna, like, "Oh, I have an idea for you," and it just came up now. And there was, this eagerness to share.
Yeah, nice. And Freke, any inspiration, or as Alex Baum asked, is there an important lesson you've learned that you could share?
Well, it was one big lesson.
Already, it's not over yet.
I think to take it as it comes, of course, for all of us, that is, and we're still in the middle of it. So I think we will look back with, oh, this was a big life changer for me. I did realize that we started Instock 6 years ago, and to start this new initiative, Support Your Locals, how much energy that gives. For me personally, that was a nice experience. To start something again and to have the positive vibes, because everyone was in this negative feeling, like how we're gonna survive. And then when you put these heads together and you actually realize something, and then a few days later, like literally Monday, we had a call with the team, and Thursday we had 10 people packing all these boxes, the first 400. That gave so much energy. So for me, it's a life lesson that how much I enjoy creating new stuff and putting new initiatives, to making that come together. But I think in general, it will be to take things as it comes, and to be flexible, adapt to the situation.
But I think all 3 initiatives that you created are here to stay, in every way.
Yeah. So we actually talked about this today. So and we still don't know how consumers are gonna. Is it a temporary change that they want so much at home that they just order a box of 45 euros and will they continue doing that after Corona is over, or will it be actually temporary? I hope, of course, that we put something together that is here to stay. Yeah, but we don't know.
Yeah, and Tim?
Yeah, I think for me, I'll say it in like one word: it's gratitude. The one thing I've learned is to be thankful nowadays. A lot, really. when we even with where we are and the situation we're in, we've still got to be grateful, because if we look around us and we see what's going on in the world, and the difficulties going on in the developing world and so on, and even though maybe Europe, yes, we haven't been the most effective at dealing with this, and we haven't all stood together, etc., we've still, so grateful to be in the situation we are and not in some of the others, because it's been a super difficult situation, and like we said in the beginning, no one was expecting this. So it's gratitude now for friends, gratitude for all the little stuff, and it's weird, but you do hear the birds now a little bit more than you did before. So it's I'd go with that one word. That's what my biggest lesson is be thankful now, and enjoy stuff when you're doing it.
Yeah, nice. And also there was a question by Hannah about involvement of the team. I think that's mostly maybe we forget, right? I mean, you focus on your business, you focus on customers, but also gratitude, or like how difficult is it to keep your team involved and manage to keep them positive in this situation. This might be challenging as well, right?
Yeah. I think it all comes back down to communication. You've got to keep talking to your team. You've got to keep talking to your clients. You've got to be honest with them and transparent nowadays. There's no use hiding things and all that. We're in the same boat. Explain it to them. Talk to them. Keep not sending out messages. Don't send out those negative ones. Those are not going to help. I'm sorry to say. There's so many conspiracy theories and this and that, but you know what? None of that helps us at the moment. At the moment, it's survival to get through this, and then hopefully better things will come, and then we can read about these books about whatever conspiracies were happening. But at the moment, we don't have that luxury. The moment it's there's always movers and shakers. At the moment, we need good movers. We need people to move, do stuff, and give hope, because we all went through the 2009 crisis. Actually, today I was telling someone it's super sad, because a lot of the guys I work with are millennials, and they've just go through two crises in the last 10 years, basically, where they hit one crisis that was a once-in-a-lifetime crisis. They hit that one, and they were coming back from that, and they were doing okay. And I'm talking about Portugal, where we really suffered in that crisis. And then we've now hit another once-in-a-lifetime crisis. So maybe they're not once in a lifetime. So maybe this is maybe that's life, So
yeah. We need to bend it to something positive, right? It's also something that it's a cycle that we need to reinvent ourselves.
That's it. Yeah.
And that we cannot go on as it's happening out there. I mean, I also started noticing more and more in the city I live in, because it's less busy, for example, right? I mean, or it's even less polluted, or that kind of thing. So, I mean, there's the good and bad sides to this crisis, of course. I also see a question here from Thiago to Freke about, what's the added value for the supermarket?
So the added value, the supermarkets are open, first of all. They are open even longer probably than normally, because it's so popular. Everyone needs to eat from the supermarket, because the offices are closed and the food service is closed. So the retail is actually, the supermarkets are facing empty shelves. The added value of the box is that people don't need to go to the supermarket. So people that are vulnerable, that don't feel comfortable with going to the supermarket, they just get the food delivered at their homes. That's one. The second is that it's actually local, and that it's really unique products that you normally cannot buy in the supermarket, because it's directly going to the food service. So it's actually the best bakery of Amsterdam. It's all the really unique products. And the third is that you help us financially. So people understand that we're having a big problem if we don't find a new target group as a replacement for the food service. And people are willing to help us out in this situation.
Okay, I hope this answered the question, Thiago. Thank you for the good question. And we're almost to the end of the talk as well. And a question that I want to raise is, so how can citizens help, and how do they can get in touch with you guys? So whether it's Vienna, Bucharest, Lisbon, or Amsterdam, all the viewers watching, or you want to start your own initiative like one of these in your city, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, for everyone in Amsterdam, supportlocals.nl is where we have our website. So it's still really needed that the boxes are sold, because we noticed that after Easter it's more difficult. People are now having their stomach full of all the food, so we didn't sell that much boxes this week. So keep ordering the boxes and keep donating something for the good causes. And if you want to start your own initiative, then you can also find it on the website under Do Mee.
Do Mee.
Do Mee.
Take part.
Yeah.
All right. And then Tim?
Yeah, I think for us, it's really, if you're a business, join us. If you're a consumer, support the businesses that are joining us, and you know that you're doing something good. At the same time, Portugal is known as a holiday place. And what we're telling a lot of Portuguese is, listen, don't cancel your trips. Come and enjoy our hotels and all that, because it's going to be difficult. I can't wait to go back to Amsterdam and enjoy it, but I don't know if it'll be next month. But if next month we can start doing something locally, let's do those things, and then it will grow. Local is good, but as well, we do that for now, but we will do it. We will also grow it. It's not going to be just a local world. We will carry on, and we will find experiences. We will go drink beer in Amsterdam, go listen to music in Vienna. So it's the way it is. But for now, don't close yourself in your house forever. Do stuff you like. Take a jog and all that when this comes up, because we need to live again. So we try to keep it positive. All right.
Nice, very nice. Thank you, Tim. And Ioana?
I would say, definitely. Encourage everyone around you in your network to consume locally, and actually be conscious of the fact that you need to support these businesses to survive. So, maybe ask them, how can I help? If you have a network of restaurants or bars or cafes or anything in the food and beverage industry, you can get them in contact with me on foodonourtables.com. And obviously I would love to grow the online meetup pool, and I would love to do this even more often, and to do this together on a European level and together.
Very good. So, below I see your Instagram. You can follow her and sign up if you want to join one of these initiatives. And I'd like to thank all the three of you. I said it's 45 minutes. It's already 48 minutes, but sorry about that. It's a first. But I really want to thank Tim. I want to thank Ioana. I want to thank Freke for your time. I really appreciate it. Wish you all the best in these coming months. If there's some news we can share, please let us know. We're happy to share and share it within our network of citizens. And wishing you all the best. I don't think any questions. No, but this will be recorded as well, so we'll share it again, so you can watch it, rewatch it as well. So we'll reach others and hope we inspired some people around Europe. So I'm gonna let you go and wish you an evening to all viewers.
Bye.
Excellent.
Bye, Ioana.
Bye.
Bye, Tim. Bye, Freke. Bye. And then you have, you're stuck with me again. Is to all viewers. Right, there we go. I'm gonna kick it off again. Thank you, Ioana, Tim, and Freke for your time. This has been wonderful. It almost feels like hosting my own radio show. So we probably do it more often again. I have one note to all the viewers. Last few questions. Would like to have your input on on what we should discuss next during a talk. So please find a link here. It's also on acitymadebypeople.com/live, where you find a link, a button. This is a Mentimeter link. It brings you to 2 questions, 2 slides with questions where you can quickly fill in your input on topics and then some other question. With your input, we can make this better and really inspire and connect across different cities in Europe and of course globally. So whether it's from Chicago to Melbourne, from Hong Kong back to Bucharest, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your time. Please follow us, stay tuned, and hope to see you next time. We'll probably be in 2 weeks from now on the 30th, where we'll be hosting another City Talks. Stay tuned, watch our video series and content, and we'll check in with you soon. Okay, have a nice evening. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, and stay safe and stay healthy. All right, most importantly. All right, this is Robin. See you. Bye-bye.